But after a nice dinner, they walk through a beautiful park thinking of what to do next. We could, Jinny looks at her feet, as if gathering up a little courage, go to my place if you want. I live nearby. She blanches slightly, looking as if she's suddenly thought better of the offer, and blurts, but it's kinda messy, though, and Teddy chuckles, laying a hand on her shoulder. It can't be that bad. Don't worry about it, Jinny giggles, shaking her head. There are a lot of snacks and dolls everywhere. Teddy leans down and kisses her forehead. I don't care. She leads him through a park, cutting through the alleyway, a few more turns, into the building, climb up the stairs, and Jinny pauses at her door. She forgot the code again, but Jinny learned from her mistakes and this time had a hint on her phone. She unlocks the door, braces up and shoves it open, flipping on a light before she gestures, come in. It's a tiny apartment. There's hardly space to stand between all the boxes. Jinny scoops up a bit of clothes off the floor, shoves it into the wardrobe, and closes as if she hopes he hasn't noticed. Want a Taiwanese beer? There's a bit of embarrassment in her voice. It's very light, but at least it's cold and tastes good. He laughs, settling down on the edge of bed, smoothing out the blanket a little. There's a cool breeze coming through the curtains, and it's not actually bad at all, this little place. Jinny pulls the curtain back, to better let the breeze in, and he sees there's a sad little potted plant on the windowsill. He remembers her wanting a pet, but she settled for a plant, and it makes him smile. The beer is cold, and even though it tastes a little weird like juice with alcohol, Jinny seems to like it well enough. So she says, scooting a little closer to him, seeming like she doesn't really know what to say. What next? Teddy pets her hair. Anything you like. He shrugs. You don't have to sleep with me if you don't want to, Jinny half chokes on her beer, looking entirely shocked. No, she blushes. He laughs, finishes his beer in few gulps and sets the empty bottle on the floor. Jinny takes a sip of her beer, and makes a mocking face. Gee, really? He takes the beer from her and sets it aside, gently pulling her closed. After a moment's consternation, in which she's clearly trying to decide whether to argue with him about coming between a woman and her booze, she leans her head against his shoulder, sighing and closing her eyes. He brushes her hair back from her face, kissing lightly along her jaw until he reaches her lips, and she relaxes into his embrace, letting him lay her down on the bed as he kisses her. He gazes at her, sprawls there, and strokes her cheek, dragging his fingers across her lips. She almost smiles, but turns her head to hide her face in the pillow, and giggles. He nuzzles at her neck, dragging his teeth against her skin. Fade to black. Few hours later, he lays back down beside her, and pulls her into his arms again. She snuggles close, resting her head on his shoulder, mumbling, you can stay the night, if you want. Her voice is far away, but there's something very sweet to it. You don't have to or anything, but if you want. She nuzzles against his chest, sighing. He considers leaving, but he hasn't slept next to anyone in a long time, and by the time he's thought of something to say, she's drifted off, each breath a soft little purr.